Hi, this is Farmer Carrie, and welcome to a new year of growing. We're going to share a lot of videos where you can learn how to grow your vegetables to be really happy and really successful. We're going to share, first of all, about mapping your garden so you know what you have, and then, well, what do you plant? And when do you plant it? And how much do you plant? And where do you plant it? So those are big things that we're going to learn about. We'll have a video about every one of them. Today, we're going to talk about mapping your garden. Now, here we are in the west part of the farm. And you'll notice we have underneath here, we've got carrots. And then we have cover crops. And we also have some beds that are mulched. Now, when I go to plant next year, well, what do I plant where? In fact, do I even remember what was in that bed? I know that was the bean tunnel, but what was there the year before? And what did I plant there? Oh my goodness, it's so hard to remember what you planted where. So that is why it's so important to make a map, some kind of record of what you planted where. And a map is a great visual record. And there's really fun things that you can do with maps. First of all, when you draw your map, put the directions on it, north, east, south, and west, because you kind of want to know, where is the sun? Is there going to be any shade? Another great way to record what's in your garden is photographs. Take lots of pictures of your garden, because as I was walking past this, I remembered in my mind a picture we took. This was all cucumbers, but it's really hard to remember. So take those pictures and let's go see how we can draw maps. Here we are in the Garden Resource Center. And I wanted to show you the maps that we do for the school farm. Now, this is a really fun photo that someone took with a drone. And you can see the bird's eye view of the farm. And that's kind of what we're doing with a map, just as if we were looking down at it from above. Now, you can see this is a very complicated map. It actually has 7 years of information on it. And it's a big farm, so we have lots of beds. Let me show you a simpler one. Down here, we have our cafe garden, which is up by the elementary school. And you can see it just has 8 beds and a few boxes. And it's only 3 years old. So every year, we write down what we planted. And we just upgraded our map so it's nice and simple to see. You might have a really simple garden, and maybe you only have 3 beds. Okay? There they are, your 3 beds. Now, remember to put your directions, whatever directions you're standing in, make sure you put those directions so you know where the sun is. Now, you may not be like we do. We plant 1 bed as 1 crop. Right? But you might have 3 different places you plant in that bed. Well, just make sure you write down what you planted where and when you planted it. So say maybe you planted in this bed kale on Earth Day last year. Yeah? Okay, now, why is it important that we make notes of this? Have you heard of crop rotation? Crop rotation is when you plant different kinds of plants in different places. You rotate the different families of vegetables. Let's go look at some plant families. Now, here is our seed cabinet, and you can see allium, brassica, canopods, composites. These are all big fancy names. Let's see what's in here. Woo, that's fun. So our alliums are all of our onion family, and brassicas are the broccolis and cabbage. Canopods are spinach and chard and composites. Oh my goodness, that's all sorts of lettuce. So we have everything arranged by plant families. Cucurbits are the cucurbits, sorry. Solanaceae are the tomatoes, and we've got umbels, the carrots. So everything is by plant families. And we know we don't want to plant the same plant family in the same place because they use up nutrients and deplete the soil. That means that the nutrients are gone, and you can get diseases because the bugs and the diseases will know where to go if you plant the same kind of plant in the same place every season. So that's the reason why you want to map your garden. You want to say what you planted, and then the next year you follow with a different plant family, and then a different plant family, and then after 3 years, you can start to repeat it. So how many of us can remember what we planted every year going back 3 years? Impossible. That's why you want to map your garden. So here you can see, actually on my computer, I also have a spreadsheet that has all the names of the beds. It's good to have some kind of way that you know what bed is what. You can call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you want. And we have all of our beds in our different areas of the garden, of the farm. And then we have all the crops we planted every year in every bed. And if they were planted something early in the season, what we planted after that. So everything is here on my spreadsheet. You could also just write it down on a piece of paper with the names of your beds and what you planted. But maps are really fun. After you map your garden, from last year, we can start figuring out what are we going to plant next year. So we'll figure out what we want to plant and when we want to plant it, and then how many we want, because that'll say how much space we need. And always we're thinking of our crop rotation, which will help us know where to plant it. Yeah? Okay, so have fun drawing your maps, and you can always email Farmer Carrie at schoolgardenswhidbey@gmail.com with any of your questions. Okay, enjoy.